Realize, admit your weaknesses. Like any other countries, we have our own challenges. And two things you need to assess in your nursing workforce at the national level. Capability, first, capacity, and then capabilities. So, from the current statistics and expectations first, Saudi Arabia is coming for a huge actually transformation and a lot of expectations from the high level of leadership in the country. The current challenges, actually, we talk about the ratios approved by the WHO, just measuring your quality of life and well-being. So we will see your bed capacity ratio to the population. And then you have another challenges like obesity rate. 35% of our population within the obesity rate level. Another huge challenge is the prevalence of hypertension among adults. It's nearly 23%. Not mentioning 3.8 million diagnosed as diabetes. So you need a rapid growth within the rapid growth of population. You have to meet the need for healthcare expansion. Rising cost of healthcare, it's another challenge. Higher workforce demand. And without mentioning the traffic, I think you can notice this from the first time you came from the airport to our road. The result, traffic fatality rates. And this will lower our target, the main number one rate, which is the life expectancy rate. So among these challenges, especially with the higher workforce demand, you need nurses. You will not be able to operate a single bed without nurse. So what's our current? The capacity. Either you or me. Okay. Okay, slide. I promise Ms. Hira for 15 minutes to be presented. 10 minutes, okay. So, one slide ahead, please. Okay. Currently two slides ahead. Okay. Okay. Currently in Saudi Arabia, we have, okay, you can just, before guessing, know exactly how many? 217,000 nurses working in Saudi Arabia from more than 60 countries, different countries, in different healthcare settings. So, despite this huge number, the rate of nurses per 100,000 population is only 614. So compared to other countries like United Kingdom, Canada, it's way lower. So the target recommended international ratio is 700 for our per 100,000 population. We should have at least 243,000 at least to meet the standard of 700. So this is another challenging issue. Next. And why I mentioned Philippines, Jordan, Saudi, I mean, this is the Saudi national. The 640 is the total. If we will exclude the expats, so we'll have only 228 only Saudi nurses. So I mentioned India and other countries. Actually, it's not enough to have a high graduate rate of nurses, because if they are not employed, they will not be counted. If they don't have a job vacancies, hospital first, and the job vacancies, they will not be counted. So you need health expansion to provide jobs. Okay, here's another issue. The maldistribution among the regions. This is only the statistics of Ministry of Health. So other like the northern, and I see Mr. Malik is pointing to the northern regions, you'll have very good numbers, like 779 per 100 population. But other regions like southern and western is huge challenges. So this is another issue. Next, please. Next. Thank you. So considering other healthcare institutions, I think the number will be higher. So, okay, where is the challenge? We need higher nursing schools, higher number of nursing schools. Here, if you divide the nurse graduate average, so to 2017 to 2020, we have approximate of like, say, 3,500 graduate nurses every year. If you divide this number by our population, which counts 34 million population, we have only 16.7 rate. So it's a huge challenge where we have to increase the capacity of nurse schools or the academic institutions. Next, please. So it's just a simple formula. You have to measure to balance between the nurse graduate rate and the nursing workforce rate. Because when you have a high graduate rate of nurse versus no jobs, vacancies, here you will have high unemployed level and high nurse migration rates. And the opposite, when you have a high nurse workforce rate versus a nursing graduate or lower nurse graduate level, you'll have a high job vacancies and a high demand on expat nurses. So for any other countries, three main measurements you need to see. First, you need to measure the high schoolers' perception toward nursing profession. Plus, how many are they? In Saudi Arabia, we have more than 350,000 high schoolers graduate every year, nearly 500,000. How many seats available for them? Not more than 5,000 only. Look to the job vacancies. More than 140,000 of jobs left for recruitment missions because there is no sufficient national nurses. So the supply and demand, it's clear to us. So bottleneck here is the academic institutions, which they need to be supported. And that's why the only profession that Samu Sayyidi Wali al-Ahd directly named the mega project, the biggest project in our country by his name, مشروع سمو العهد للتمريض. He understands exactly when we solve the problem of having a challenge in the number of schools, nursing schools, then we can operate more hospitals, and then we can provide better quality of care for our population. Next, please. Okay, the capability. Next, please. So we will talk about how our national nurses are doing currently. Actually, when you see the main challenge in our national nurses is the mostly, like other countries, having more diploma nurses. The diploma nurses currently is nearly 50,000 among 84,000 Saudi nurses. They represent nearly 70%. So you need, if you look to the magnet recognition programs, other indicators, you need to have at least from 70 to 80% BSN prepared nurses. And that's why we have to adapt a project toward bridging current diploma nurses. Next, please. I know I'm out of time. So, meeting with the global directions, I will leave this slides with you or with the conference, so we can just look into what brought us, especially to the last WHO report, the state of nurse and midwifery, and then the global directions, the global strategic directions toward having better nursing workforce. This is actually exactly what I'm trying to bring in this great platform. We have to be aligned with this. So we don't want to be away of the global directions. So I will just present the next slide, which is what was happening during this time in Saudi Arabia. Mainly, we have different royal decree. The cabinet of government start to recognize our nursing challenges. First, most of the colleges were promoted to universities. There are no more colleges that have a diploma graduate. And again, in 2011, considering the minimum entry level of nursing profession is the bachelor degree. So this is a mandate. We start working on this. And then the healthcare transformation strategy issued by the Ministry of Health in 2018. Another workforce reform strategy issued by the health sector transformation plan. So all of these actually governmental support. Hopefully by 2030, we will have a high or sufficient number and qualified nurses to provide better quality of care. Next, please. So if we will just look at the major move of our country for the realization of the 2030, we will have the importance of strengthening the role of healthcare sectors, either private or governmental. We need to invest in every sector, regardless of the affiliation. We don't want to have any more fragmented healthcare institutions. We have to sit in one table and to share the knowledge to serve our population with better care. Increase the nursing capacity, mentioned. Building nursing capabilities. Develop a national recruitment and retention strategy to sustain the provision of care. Support the development of the National Nursing Benchmark Database, which we're gonna, inshallah, discuss in our National Nurse Summit this evening. And establish the national strategy of nursing and midwife workforce. So I think that's all what I have. And we will be so glad to have your questions. And again, thank you for having me here and being with you today to share and get the benefit of our collaboration today. Thank you all.